Hi everyone. In this video we're going to look at how cutting back on immigration in 2025 in Canada's provinces could make worker shortages worse, slow down the economy, and affect important areas like construction and the restaurant business. Canada, a country known for welcoming immigrants with open arms, is at a crossroads. For decades we've welcomed millions looking for a new home, and they've made our country more diverse and interesting. The government's recent choice to lower immigration targets has really shaken things up. It started big discussions and worries among everyday Canadians and experts. This decision, made because of economic and social concerns, has some serious ripple effects. Businesses and communities are trying to figure out what this change means. Small businesses especially are already feeling it, because they often count on immigrants to fill jobs and bring new ideas. This decision is a big shift from Canada's long history of welcoming newcomers. Welcoming immigrants has always been a big part of how our country grows and how our society works. Immigrant families have been super important in building Canada, bringing valuable skills, talents, and making our culture even more diverse. It's a big part of how our country grows and how our society works. Our markets, community events, and even how much our economy grows have all benefited from new people coming to Canada. Lowering immigration could have unexpected consequences on these important parts of Canadian life. As Canada prepares for the changes that will come with less immigration, it's really important to look at why this decision was made, what will happen because of it, and how it could affect Canada's success in the long run. The people making these policies have to carefully consider the good and the bad of this new direction. They need to think about what will happen and how it could affect Canada's success down the road. Businesses, big and small, might have a harder time finding good workers, and our communities might not be as diverse, which is something that makes Canada so special. We're going to take a closer look at this complicated issue, looking at different points of view and the information we have to really understand what this decision means. It's important to keep talking about this and doing research so everyone understands what's going on. We'll show you the big ways that less immigration will change things in Canada. Important industries like construction, healthcare, and hospitality could be especially affected, changing how our economy and society work for years to come. The government's choice to lower immigration goals comes from a mix of things, each one really important in this change. One big reason is the pressure on the stuff we already have, like roads and hospitals. The population growing so fast, partly from immigration, has put a lot of stress on housing, healthcare, and getting around in cities. Also, people are worried about being able to afford homes in big cities, and some say that lots of immigration makes it even harder. The effects of cutting back on immigration will spread across different parts of the Canadian economy, with some industries facing bigger problems than others. A big problem we're facing is a growing shortage of workers. Many industries already don't have enough skilled workers, and they depend on people coming to Canada to fill important jobs and keep things running. With fewer people available to work, businesses in lots of different areas will have a tough time finding and keeping the talented people they need to grow and do well. Among the hardest hit by this policy change are the construction and hospitality sectors, two cornerstones of the Canadian economy that really depend on immigrant workers. In construction, the need for skilled tradespeople has been higher than what we have in Canada for a long time, so we've relied on immigrants to fill those jobs. From carpenters and electricians to plumbers and welders, these skilled workers are super important for building the homes, buildings and roads and bridges that Canada needs to keep growing. Cutting back on immigration is going to make the worker shortage in construction even worse, and that could mean projects get delayed, things cost more, and the whole industry might have a tough time. The outlook isn't great for Atlantic Canada. Businesses are dealing with a lot of uncertainty right now. Atlantic Canada has had problems for a while, like people getting older and moving away. Now, with fewer immigrants coming to Canada, things could get even tougher. Newcomers to Canada have really helped these provinces. They've become a big part of the community, helped businesses grow, and kept things lively. The government's choice to cut back on how many immigrants can come to Canada is making things uncertain in Atlantic Canada. Businesses and politicians are trying to figure out what to do. If you like the video, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on our future videos. The future of Francophone communities, a threat to cultural vitality. Besides the money problems, Cutting back on immigration also has a big impact on culture, especially for French-speaking communities outside of Quebec. These communities, often surrounded by English speakers, have always seen immigration as a way to keep their language and culture alive. New French-speaking immigrants have really helped these communities, making them bigger and stronger in a mostly English-speaking country. But with fewer people allowed to immigrate, these communities might not grow culturally. Their hopes for a fresh start and a brighter future are harder to reach because there are fewer people who can join their communities. Workers in limbo, the uncertain fate of foreign nationals. The decision to lower immigration targets has left many folks who were hoping to come to Canada feeling lost and confused. For those who have already started the tough process of applying to live here permanently, the way forward isn't clear anymore. Applications might take longer to process, the number of people allowed in could be smaller, and the dream of starting a new life in Canada might be put on hold for who knows how long. This uncertainty isn't just about individual hopes, Businesses that count on workers from other countries might lose good employees, which could really mess with how they work and stop them from growing. Economic and social consequences, a short-sighted vision for Canada's future. Choosing to lower immigration targets is a big change for Canada. We've always welcomed newcomers and recognized their contributions to our country's growth and success. For many years, Canada has been a symbol of hope for people looking for a better life, and this policy might change that. Newcomers don't just bring different skills and talents, they also make our culture richer. The government says it wants to reduce pressure on things like roads, hospitals, and schools. While that makes sense, we need to think about the long-term effects. Yes, these services are under pressure, but maybe the answer isn't letting in fewer immigrants. Maybe we should invest more in these areas to make them stronger. We can't ignore the possible economic and social consequences of this policy change. Businesses, especially smaller ones, often rely on immigrants to fill jobs and bring new ideas. Without new talent coming in, these businesses might face really difficult times. If we reduce immigration, Canada might see a shortage of workers, less innovation, and a weaker position globally. This is especially true for the technology and manufacturing sectors. New ideas often come from different perspectives, and fewer immigrants could limit this. Also, Canada's ability to compete globally could be hurt. In today's world, attracting and keeping talented people from other countries is important. Reducing immigration might make Canada less competitive on the world stage. This decision might make Canada seem less welcoming and inclusive, which could hurt our reputation. We might see more businesses closing and empty offices if we don't attract new talent. This could damage Canada's image as a welcoming and inclusive place. Our diverse communities are what make Canada strong. A policy that limits immigration could weaken the values of inclusivity and diversity that are so important to us. Ultimately, we need to find a way to support our infrastructure while still welcoming those who want to contribute to Canadian society. We need to find a good balance, sustainable growth and human potential. As Canada tackles this tricky situation, it's super important to find a balance. We need to think about things like roads, bridges, and buses, all that public stuff. We also need to make sure healthcare and schools are good for everyone, newcomers and people who have been here a while. At the same time, we can't forget that welcoming newcomers helps our economy grow, brings people together, and makes our culture even more interesting. Think about all the cool festivals, different foods, and traditions we have thanks to immigration. Instead of just thinking about how immigration affects what we already have, let's look at all the amazing things newcomers bring to Canada. They fill jobs that need doing, and often have special skills that are hard to find. Newcomers are talented, and many start their own businesses. This is great for coming up with new ideas and helping Canada compete with other countries. New businesses create jobs and help our economy. Having different perspectives helps companies be creative and try new things. This makes them better at dealing with changes. Newcomers pay taxes, shop at local stores, and are part of our communities. Small businesses really benefit from this, and it makes our communities stronger. By paying taxes, newcomers help support programs that help everyone in Canada. Their contributions make our communities stronger and help build a better future for the whole country. In conclusion, let's talk about navigating the connection between immigration and success. To wrap up, the choice to lower immigration goals in Canada comes with both difficulties and possibilities. While it's understandable that the government is concerned about things like infrastructure and social services, it's super important to think about this issue with a long-term view. We need to remember all the good things immigration brings to our economy, our social connections, and Canada's diverse culture. If we find a good balance, one that deals with the problems we have now but also sticks to our promise of welcoming newcomers, Canada can successfully handle this challenge and become a shining example of success and inclusivity in a world that's becoming more and more connected. Thank you for watching. We truly appreciate your time and interest. If you found this video helpful, insightful, or informative, we'd love for you to join our community. Please remember to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you never miss any of our updates. Your support means the world to us, and we look forward to bringing you more valuable content. Thank you again, and see you in the next video.